Now you have just stepped in, you've just clicked in to your maybe first, at least it's happening now, awareness of what deliberate creation really is deliberately feeling, is thinking and feeling. So now, as you find something that is generally negative, now do you know it is just so logical and simple for you to move into something that is generally positive. We're going to do this with any of you who are willing today about anything that is important to you if you want to move your energy on things. Because as you move into that generally negative place, it's fairly easy to move into a generally positive place. And when you do that, you're going to feel relief even in a stronger way. But the thing that you're going to notice is manifestations are going to come right around you as evidence that you have made that vibrational shift. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. Now, you are a room full of rather remarkable people because, first of all, you know about this vibration stuff. And you understand your emotions. And you've been making decisions about feeling better. Things are moving very fast these days. The energy out here on this leading edge on planet Earth has never moved faster. There have never been more outside the vortex with stronger asking. And when more are asking, the energy moves faster, which means for those who are in the vortex, the energy lifts you. It supports you. It gives you clarity. It makes you feel wonderful. And it delivers to you over and over and over again. But for those not in the vortex, this fast-moving energy beats you up. So our encouragement during these hours that we are together is that you accept the reality of this vortex of creation. Understand that your inner being is in there as the holder, the maintainer, the placeholder of all that you have become. And if it is your powerful desire, not so much to get in the vortex, but to recognize when you are in there and then just milk it a little bit, what you will begin to do is to allow the vortex to train your frequency upward. Because you cannot focus upon the problem and the solution at the same time. It's one or the other, you see. And it's so much easier to maintain the vibration of the solution once you are in the vortex. In fact, that's when all of the clarity and insight comes to you. When you're in the vortex, that's when the manifestations begin to reveal themselves to you. The reason this conversation is not very well received by a lot of people is because they are accustomed to looking at things that are manifested, and they sort them into piles of wanted and unwanted. And they're not even thinking about the pile that is amassing for them in their vortex because they can't see it. And we understand that. You use your physical senses magnificently. You translate vibration to see what you see. You translate vibration to hear what you hear. You translate vibration to smell what you smell and to taste what you taste and to touch what you touch. You are translating vibration all over the place. Your emotions are your most significant translator of vibration. So while you can see what's manifested, you can't see what's in the vortex unless you're in there and have been in there long enough that you are on the vibration of what's in there. Once you spend significant time in the vibration of the vortex, what begins to happen is in the same way you can keenly smell and keenly hear and keenly see and keenly taste and keenly feel, you can keenly know what's in the vortex. You will have the experience of sight and sound. We're not kidding you. When you're in the vortex and you spend enough time there that you acclimate to the frequency of it, the first thing that happens is ideas begin to flow to you that you weren't getting when you weren't in the vortex. Ideas, really good ideas. Impulses to do things, impulses to go there and stop there, impulses to slow down and speed up, impulses that cause you to rendezvous with other cooperative components that you have been looking for, cooperative components that you've been asking for and asking for and asking for, that the source energy has delivered and delivered and delivered and delivered, but just outside the vortex you can't see them, you can't find them, you can't know them, but inside the vortex, aha, there you are. There's an idea I can run with. And how do you know? Because it's an idea that is so compelling, wild horses would not keep you from it. Every one of you knows what we're talking about. You remember falling in love. You remember being at the right place at the right time. So now we're telling you in ways that you cannot miss. You're hearing it with your ears. You're seeing it with your eyes. You're knowing it with your belly. You know what we speak is true. Now that you know this, now that you know about the existence of this vortex, now that you know about the power of your own guidance system, now that you know that this is a vibrational universe, now that you know there's all kinds of things amassed for you that you can't see, now manifestational reality is going to mean less to you for a while. And that's such a good thing. Because when manifestational reality means less to you, vibrational reality will be more to you. Emotional reality will be more to you. Being tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the energy of your source will mean more to you. And you'll catch yourself going off course at those early subtle stages. You'll find yourself in the middle of a sentence wanting to draw it back in and wanting to de-emphasize it rather than emphasize it. You will begin to be the deliberate creator of your own reality. From this step forward, it is our promise to you. We are eager to talk with you. Get a little wound up here because you have to understand, we've seen what's in your vortex. We know what you've lined up, and our eagerness is about you discovering the fulfillment of it. But friends, not because we're excited about the manifestation. We are sort of. But because we are thrilled with knowing what it feels like to you to sync up. To sync up. To sync up with who you are. You came for the passion of life, not for the trucks. You came for the passion of life. You came for the emotion of life. You came for the feeling of life. You came for that worthy, proud, good feeling of a powerful creator. That's who you are. That's why you're here. We are eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you. Nothing is off limits. It is our expectation that we will drag you, that we will inspire you into the vortex. So we see our greatest value to you here today, and the greatest work that we do as we are playing with you is to convince you of the reality of this vibrational beingness that has amassed and that is real, but that may be vibrating at a frequency where you can't yet see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, and that's why you don't believe it. It is so much easier to believe what's manifested than to believe what's pre-manifested. And this pre-manifestation, it is the precursor to all of this magnificent expansion. If we can convince you that you were source energy before you came into this body, and that the larger part of you still is source energy even though you're in this body. If we can convince you that as you explore the details of your life that you cause a vibrational expansion, and that the larger part of you immediately takes that expansion, is that expansion, has become that expansion, and is calling you to it. And if we can convince you that the way you feel is your evidence, in the moment evidence, of whether you're going with the expansion or whether you're holding back a little bit. To the degree that you feel bad, you're holding back. To the degree that you feel good, you're going with it. And if we can convince you that if you will just chill out a little, if you will stop looking at reality and letting whatever it is control your every thought, if you will allow yourself the hopeful conclusion that maybe there is a vortex and maybe my source is within it, and maybe if I just release thoughts, that source will call me into vibrational alignment, then it is our promise to you that your vortex will train your vibration upward. Because in the absence of resistant thought, you practice a non-resistant, totally allowing thought. And the more often you do that, the more easy it is to do it, until in time, and we're talking about a very short time, you will become a vibrational match to the frequency of your source. And when that happens, when you spend more time in this vortex, do you believe there's a vortex? Can you sort of kind of hear it? You get what we're talking about? You have to accept it. You're good, but you haven't figured out how to scrape enough dirt together to launch it into orbit. You gotta know there's something else going on. And as you acknowledge that there is this vortex of creation, and as you acknowledge that it is a vibrational frequency, and as you accept the reality of it and feel your way into it again and again and again, and once you're in it, you milk it. You stay there as long as you can until it's more natural for you to be in that frequency than to be in a resistant frequency that doesn't feel so good. what will begin to happen to you is you will begin to see and hear and smell and taste and touch inside the vortex. In other words, we're not saying to you that everything that manifests is outside the vortex. We're saying to you that you got to be in the vortex for the things you want to manifest. You got to be in the vortex for the things that you want to consistently and profoundly and chronically begin to manifest. You got to believe, you've got to understand your frequency. And the only way that you can understand your frequency is through your emotions. Do you get that? Your inner being is not an idea. We would call it an inner idea. It's an inner being, an inner beingness. Your inner being bees. Your inner being is consciousness who bees. Consciousness who is life, who is eternal, who bees. So this inner being has taken all of the expansion that you've offered it through the living of life and is not holding back ever like you may be. So when you're beating the drum of justification or defense or rationalization, well, I feel this way because that happened to me and it shouldn't have happened to me, and that was an injustice that should not have happened, and so I'm just going to stand here in my righteous indignation and join others in my protest against the government or in my protest against this absurd policy that has just happened at work. Do you know they gave us a bonus and then they took it back? It's just ridiculous that they're making all that money and they're not giving nearly enough of it to me, and I'm working so hard and I don't think they are. That righteous indignation is justified maybe, and maybe everybody in your company and beyond would agree with you, but your inner being isn't agreeing with you, and that's the only agreement that is ever important to you. Your inner being stays in a place of positive expectation. No, not positive expectation, because expectation implies it is something yet to come. In positive beingness, because your inner being bees there and does not deviate from it. But when you aren't up to speed with your inner being, then you feel the deviation. Light, slight, severe, strong, that's what negative emotion is. It's your indicator that you're not up to speed with your expansion. Negative emotion is telling you two things. It's telling you first that you're not up to speed, but it's telling you something else really, really important that we so want you to hear. It's telling you you have expanded, the bigger part of you has expanded beyond where you're practiced. Don't you like knowing that? I have expanded beyond what I have learned to allow. Well, you know what that means? If you've expanded beyond what you have learned to allow, that means there's some good times coming to you, because the deliciousness of life, the true essence of life, the part of life that you call exhilaration or adventure, the part of life that you call passion, the part of life that you climb mountains for or that you get into new relationships for, the part of life that you were born for, the part of life that you love the most of all is that moving in the direction of the further expansion. And we really want you to hear us when we say moving in the direction of it, because moving in the direction of it is all that you're ever going to do, because you're never going to catch it. Oh. That doesn't seem right. I'm never going to catch up with who I am. Not really. Because there will always be more that will cause you to expand. And so if you can come to the place where you savor the problem as deliberately and deliciously as you savor the solution, now you're rocking and rolling. Because you can't have a solution without a problem, and you can't have expansion without asking, and you can't ask without contrast, and you can't be alive without that. You can't be here in this physical format without life causing you to know more clearly all day, every day, what you would prefer. So you got that, didn't you? Do you understand that the vibration of a question and the vibration of an answer are different frequencies? But the answer is born from the question. Do you understand that the frequency, the vibrational frequency of a solution is different than the frequency of the problem? But they are tied together in this vibrational wave. In other words, they are equal parts of the same concept. It's why humans talk about duality. We don't